Hello all. Well, a very dry, warm, the end of summer here in California. I was going to talk about the latest ICC, but we'll do that on the next video. Today, we're going to discuss the new and upcoming 5G for mobile phone and internet. But let's first talk about the basics. Let's go over the board and get some of that out of the way. Oh, by the way, it's been probably over a month of research on this. Okay, the first thing you have to do is talk about the radio frequency spectrum, or what is a wavelength. So, 3G, 4G, and 5G. Most of the world is now on 3G and 4G, and just starting to get on 5G. What is the difference? This is the wavelength, which is this, just like in a pool of water. It works the same way. If you throw a pebble in it, you're transmitting a signal. So that's what this stands for. G5 has a frequency of this big. G4 shrinks it down to this. G5 shrinks it down into the nanometer frequency. Now, the whole problem with 5G is the size of the frequency. It's too small. It enters and causes problems with our health. It's the way they're going to do it. 5G will be coming in the next 2 to 3 years. What frequencies will they be operating on? 600 megahertz to 4,200 megahertz. That's a very small frequency. The antennas can be much smaller with 5G. In other words, they can go from 20 antennas to thousands of antennas in one area, on one pole, very small. What this is going to allow is a much faster data transfer rate and a whole lot more things like instant video. It takes maybe a minute to download a whole video. So there's a lot of reasons to go to G5. The reason they're going to 5G, not G5, is because all the rest of the radio frequencies, here let me show you, are all filled up. They have to go clear over to the farthest and smallest frequencies before you get into infrared and light waves. Now, the problem with the smaller frequencies is that these wavelengths don't go through buildings or solid material. They're more like a light beam. So, they're having some issues, technicals, trying to figure out how to fix that. So, what I did find out is that there are different frequencies being used for 5G. 6 to 4.2, and from 27.5 gigahertz all the way up to 300 gigahertz. Is what the final is going to be, but they're kind of broken up into little sections of frequencies. The higher you go, the smaller this goes, and the harder it is for the signal from the tower to get to you. What about power output? That's what makes this so dangerous. Well, if you're on a Wi-Fi system, the handset, the actual phone, only transmits 0.001 watts for Wi-Fi's and 0.0000001 watt on the phones. So in other words, the G5 signal up at the pole at the transmitter end puts out between 60 and 90 watts. So what about that? What happens if you get within 250 feet of that tower? So in other words, if you look out your window and you have a tower outside your window, you got problems. However, if you're not near the tower, you're fine with 5G. 5G is a very good technology. It will make things a whole lot different. But unfortunately, it's being used because of gaming. Gaming? Oh, Lord, man. These data rates, instead of a 0.1 megabyte of back and forth, you're going to get thousands of gigahertz of data rates. In other words, whatever you do will be just instant, no matter how clogged it will be. So according to the government studies, such as India, China, and Japan, they're saying stay away from these towers 120 feet away. So what's the difference between 1G and 2G? Well, 1G was analog, and once they went to 2G, they went from analog to digital. This whole packet thing where cell phones and cells were invented was in 1998 is when they started putting the infrastructure in. So the bottom line with 5G, don't worry about it. I think it'll be just fine. If you happen to look up someday and they're putting a tower right outside your bedroom window, you've got a problem. but the handsets, the phones, practically don't transmit at all. So the only serious problems are with the phone being up near your face. It will cause some cancerous lesions on your face, probably mess with your brain if you talk on it too much. Now, when I was small, I got into the radio thing, amateur radio, where the bandwidths were so huge. Let me show you. Look at how big AM radio is and FM radio. And then you look, and as you go up in frequency, that shows you the more progression and more progress we've had on radio frequency transmitting and receiving, both in duplex on the same channel. That's very unusual. You used to have to transmit on one frequency and listen on another. Now they're using it on one frequency. The technology is really exploding with 5G. I think it'll be a good thing as long as these companies pay attention to your health. And let me tell you, about half of the information I was reading was on human health and 5G. So I think it's okay. I think we don't have to worry about this one, at least not yet. This technology should be out in 2 to 3 years. So I wanted to get that information out there, and hopefully it wasn't too technical. But if you have any information on this, good, bad, or in between, just your opinion, let me know what you think. Is 5G something that's good for us or bad for us? The technical fixes are incredible. Can you imagine having a robot operate on you and the doctor's 100,000 miles away? That's what's coming in 2 to 3 years. So the next video is a very important one. A new report has come out. You'll probably read about it before I get the video done. But we'll do one anyway. So I appreciate all the comments on the last videos and the comments on this video and the ups and downs, and especially the new subscribers. YouTube's letting me have a few. That means they'll all go away on this video. They seem to go up on one video and down on the next. I don't know if it's planned that way or if it's just the way it's working. Until next time.